Welcome, soul family. I'm Tana Newberry, and this is your pick a card reading for the message that you need to hear right now. This reading is going to be timeless, so no matter when you find this video, or even if you've listened to it more than once, the message you receive is supposed to be exactly what it is that Spirit is trying to get through to you at this present moment. So the way this works is I have 4 piles of cards here. I would like you to pick a pile of cards just based on your gut, your intuition. Maybe you'll be drawn to the crystal, maybe you'll be drawn to the color of the cards. Either way, pick a deck of cards here, and there's a number of cards that are going to go ahead and give us our message. So deck number 1 has a citrine crystal on top. Deck number 2 has a pyrite. Deck number 3 has a tourmaline with some quartz pieces inside. And deck number 4 has an amethyst double point here. So take a moment, take a deep breath, and feel which one of these decks is pulling to you. Then, once you know the deck you choose, go down into the comments or to the comment from this video and see the timestamp there. You can fast forward right to your deck if you'd like, instead of listening to all of the other information. Okay, so we're gonna get started with deck number 1. If this is your deck, stay put. If not, check the timestamp and fast forward to your deck. Okay, so moving the other decks out of the way now. We're going to be focusing on deck number 1, which had the citrine. So, first of all, we've got a number of cards here, but right on top, this message, I love this. This is emerging. Now, emerging is a card and a concept that happens when we are trying to seek spiritual alignment or spiritual enlightenment. This is obviously going to be the deck of cards that you chose if you're in a spiritual growth phase. You could be focusing on spiritual growth activities, or you could be getting life lessons that are allowing yourself to actually emerge from it a stronger spiritual person with a stronger spiritual sense. Yes, we have to work for these gifts to work in our life. We have to do the time, we have to do the work, but this is definitely saying that you're on a path to becoming a better, more aligned person. So think about the thing that maybe you feel is bringing this up as we move forward. Pleasure. Now the next card is from the Divine Goddess and it says pleasure. So is there some area of your life which you are, I feel like you value pleasure and you create pleasure for those around you that you care about. But I feel this message is coming up when maybe the lesson could have something to do with, are you choosing in favor of pleasure? Are you saying your hell yeses versus your hell nos? Are you all the way in, or are you kind of leaning out of those things that you really desire, the things that bring you joy? Is this the lesson you're trying to learn? Is it a lesson about what is worth it? What maybe feels like we're supposed to do A, B, and C, but really if we were honest with our heart, we'd be drawn to doing this other thing. Maybe this is the spiritual lesson you're learning right now. The next card is Master. The Master card from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart deck is really talking about a level of mastery. So it's obvious that you've learned this lesson before. You know what it's like when you don't choose with your heart and you don't choose with your hell yes coming forward. You don't choose in favor of your pleasure. You've learned this lesson before when you've neglected that part and then allowed yourself to realize that it was really about life being short and choosing in favor of your pleasure. But have you forgotten it this time around? Regarding the one thing that maybe is kind of going on in your life? Have you forgotten this aspect of it in your journey? The next card is Surrender Your Ego. This has a message on it. Let's take a look. Cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. I feel like it's very interesting for this reading, talking about spiritual emerging, enlightenment, and alignment. The ego is always, of course, going to be there, and it's always going to try and get in the way. That is our antagonist, right? This is the thing that always challenges us to be more, to have more, to feel more, to know more. And so is being of service and being in gratitude, I feel, to the self. Is that being applied in this situation? The pleasure, again, I think was talking about going inward and choosing in favor of your pleasure. Let's talk about it. Are you in a job that you are feeling a little dead inside about? Are you in a relationship that's really lost its luster? Are you doing anything with your body, with your time, with your efforts that is not matched with pleasure just because you're being of service to something else? Being of service to something else is great, but what about being in service to the things that you need for spiritual growth, for spiritual alignment and spiritual enlightenment? The next card is all about surrendering. This is surrender to beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break, spend time in nature, replenish yourself by feeling beauty and the ecstasy there. Okay, so this is about a timeout. This is about going inward and saying, you know what? I'm going to place myself around beauty so that I am vibrating at the level of beauty, and therefore I begin to enjoy the beauty around me and want to create everything in my life to be at that high vibration. Nature can do so much for us, and it's not always just nature. What about your space? Are you feeling like your space is clear and clean? Are you feeling like you have enough crystals or plants around? Are you feeling like the space around you, the nature around you, inside or outside of your home and your physical space, is this complementing the level of vibration I want to come and play at, right? So again, we're talking about the self and how we're honoring the self and how we're bringing the self more fully realized in this scenario. The next card is courage, and we know this all takes courage. It says, Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Okay, so you know what happens, okay? You're smart, you're intuitive, you're a spiritual person already. You know what happens when you don't listen to your spirit. You know what happens when it's time to really take a good look at where you're investing your energy. It can be a very difficult thing to make changes. And I'm hearing in my physical ears the word changes, okay? Because nothing is really going to evolve or feel like it's settling into alignment unless it changes. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So it's time to think about what are the little routine-based activities or what are the little efforts you can make that would change the scenario. And this is about having courage to do those things. Ask for help if you need to ask for help. Find yourself some accountability if that's what works for you. Allow yourself the opportunity to feel courageous in the efforts you're making. The next one is meditation. And how do I know? Boy, do I know that meditation makes a huge, huge difference. Meditation is not just sitting there and going, oh. Meditation is focus. Meditation is saying that there's this thing that I want, and this is how I'm going to get it. So I'm just going to let everything else fall by the wayside for a moment and laser sharp point that focus to that one thing or to that one meditative thought, to that one action I want to make, and just to let everything else go on hold for a minute and focus on that thing. And again, that thing again is about pleasure. What is bringing you pleasure? What feels good in your space, in your energy, and in your life? The next card is forgiveness heals. Forgiveness of the self and forgiveness of others if they're not on board with this. Let's take a look. Dear God and the angels, Raphael, I'm willing to forgive myself and others in exchange for what I really want, peace and health, and I will add pleasure. Okay, so do we think that we're not deserving? Do we think that it would hurt others if we did for ourselves because they're so used to having us doing for them? It's about saying, you know what, there's nothing bad about saying, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I desire, this is what makes me feel good. And to take away the idea that it's bad to say that it's bad to self-advocate for the things that you desire. Again, forgiveness. And it's almost like there doesn't even need to be forgiveness because nothing is wrong, but if you have to think about it as forgiveness, so be it, okay? Forgiveness for the self. And joy and stability follows. When you follow your joy, when you follow your pleasure, when you follow your hell yes, your yay, your energy that is positive and uplifting, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you're spending your time creating? What is it that you're sharing? Think about all these things because this is you, pile one. This is you, deck one, okay? This is you. It's all about what brings you pleasure and what you want to create. And again, this is all in alignment with the lifestyle you want to live. This card says, Archangel Raphael, eat healthful diet, get adequate sleep, exercise regularly for optimal health. Let's think about this. Exercising your behaviors, exercising your routines, exercising the things you care about so that the outcomes you desire can be actually fully realized in all days of the week, in all weeks of the month, okay? In all months of the year, right? So actually doing the work. The next card here is Denial, and it's Divine Helpers. This is not a bad card. It begs us to look at what it is that we're not seeing. What is the thing Spirit's telling me right now that there are a couple of underlining influences that are part of this whole message about choosing pleasure and choosing joy and choosing to surrender the ego and the forgiveness of what we think is all bad about saying yes to ourselves and just surrendering to that, okay? But the thing is we are not seeing the full picture because something is motivating us underneath. Maybe it's thinking that someone else's happiness or health is riding on our contribution. There's something underlining happening here, and it begs us to look and acknowledge those underlining things and check whether they are real or not real, okay? And the last card here to help us heal with that is Have Faith. Dear Jesus and Archangel Raphael, thank you for boosting my faith so that I may trust in miracles. Yes, sometimes it feels like it would take a miracle to change, okay? To do the thing, to get the thing, to be in alignment with it, to keep the thing, to have it living and breathing in our life, that thing that's pleasurable, that thing that's joyful. But here's the thing, if you just have the faith and do the work, you look underneath and you say, what's here? Is there anything old, outdated, unneeded? You're willing to surrender the things that you feel are old, not needed, outdated, and you choose in favor of your joy and pleasure. Pile 1, this reading is saying that there are miracles in store for you if you just choose based on your heart's desire. So that is your message for pile number 1. And I'm going to put that right over here with the citrine, and that'll stay there for you for the rest of the readings. Stick around if you had another one that also called to you. So now I'm going to work with deck 2 here. So if this is your reading, deck 2, here we go, under the Pyrite crystal. The first card we have for you is Nurture. I love this. As you nurture you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you now. Deck 1 was talking about choosing joy and pleasure. Deck number 2 is starting out talking about, are you actually doing the self-care and the nurturing? Spirit is telling me right now that if you chose deck 2, that you have a mission, a project, a charge. It's not just you, it's something you're supposed to be creating. It's something that's, it's like a brain or energy birthing baby, okay? There's like this something here that is coming from you, channeling through spirit, through your mind and heart, and coming out of you and your life. And they're asking you to nurture this. They're asking you to value it, to nurture it, and to give it all the space and energy it needs to breathe. I'm excited for you, deck number 2. We're gonna be changing the world here. Let's see what else is in store. Okay, the first card here is Surrender to Non-Action. I get this way all the time. It says, now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. Okay. Sometimes when we get in this position and we're creating something, we forget that the energy has to be aligned and right. Sometimes it has to do with divine timing. Sometimes it has to do with just the right energy balance. Sometimes it has to do with meditation and focus, where we need to actually receive and download certain pieces of the puzzle before we try and force something. So even though there's this thing that you're birthing and you're nurturing, are you being a little impatient with how or when it's coming to term? Okay, so this card is talking about if there are moments of inaction, if there are moments of downtime, if there are moments of pause, okay, that's an okay thing, and to recognize it as divine timing and divine order instead of pushing and thinking that there's something wrong with it or something wrong with you. That's not the case. The next one is listen to your intuitive feelings. It says, dear higher self, thank you for speaking loudly and clearly in a peaceful way that I may easily understand. Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me and listening to my inner wisdom. So maybe the piece of the puzzle is a message that is supposed to be coming down for you to receive? And are you too busy plugging away and creating to stop and to meditate and say, what is the answer to this part? You know, I'll be honest, sometimes I do this. I sit down to do a newsletter and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pop it out. I'm going to come up with my message. And then I remind myself, you can't do that before you meditate on what that message is supposed to be. You have to make sure that everything is done so intentionally and so in alignment. And whether this is a spiritual thing that you're creating or not, are you taking that moment to actually listen to your inner guidance or to spiritual guidance to tell you exactly how to create the thing or what it's supposed to be or look like when you create the thing? Okay? So taking a moment to check in before you create or put out, okay? The next card is partnerships and love, the nature spirit. Everything that we create in this world is a co-creation. It's not like it doesn't belong to you, because you do have a mission and you do have a charge and you do have beautiful things that are yours to create, but you're always playing catch with spirit and you're always playing catch with your inner self and your higher self. So whether this is something that is spiritual or non-spiritual, like maybe you're writing a project for work and you work for the county with their traffic signals and you're coming up with this big thing that's going to allow huge change in the effectiveness of the county roads, okay? It doesn't matter what it is, you're still playing catch with your higher self, with your higher knowledge and with spirit, okay? Because if it's supposed to be in your life, it's supposed to be something that fulfills you, and it's supposed to be something that brings you higher and higher into your alignment and enlightenment. So are we playing catch with spirit, or are we going at it alone? I love that advice. And again, strengthening bonds, talking about the power of two. Again, you and spirit, you and your higher self, you and even your future self. Are you playing catch, or are you going at it alone? Your own present self with your present mentality. Are you trying to do it alone, or are you playing catch and strengthening the bonds? I love that. The next one is prosperity. And I hear this a lot of times, and I see this in my readings that I do. I feel my guides going like this. And what that means is I always hear the word, I promise, we promise, we promise. So prosperity, I'm getting this message about promising. You guys will hear this from me and see this from me a lot. So prosperity, it says, Archangel Ariel, your material needs are provided for as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into desires. So yes, we are talking about something that you're creating that could possibly be attached to your abundance, to your prosperity, to money, okay? So if this is the case for you, if you're creating in order to be successful in this way, Archangel Ariel is totally behind you, saying prosperity is part of it. It's a promise, okay? It's a promise from Spirit that what you are hoping for your means of survival and monetary value, what you're creating to provide those things for you, it can be provided, it can be created through this outlet. So keep going. Beautiful. The next card is Seek the Truth. Okay, so if we are connected with Spirit and we're playing catch, are we allowing ourselves to acknowledge when we have a divine idea or a divine inspiration? Seeking the truth is all about saying, the answer maybe wasn't within me, but when I searched and I reached out, what did I get? What was there when I reached out? So often we work with the low-hanging fruit with our intuition and we go, okay, I know this, 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 and this. We try to go on without reaching out a little further and asking and listening and holding space for more information to come through. So as you hold space for more information to come through, what comes through? That's what the Seeking the Truth is about. It's about actually leaving space and time for it, as we said, and then acknowledging that what you're getting is real and trustworthy. I love it. Next card is Discipline, the Master Teacher. We also had Mastery in deck 1, but this one really is about repetition. It's about routine, and it's about going in and doing the thing over and over and over and over so that the results all added together can make a larger impact. So what is it that you know that you need to do? And is doing it once or twice really enough? Should you be actually putting that effort into doing it over and over and over and over, knowing that each time you do so, it creates a further reach and a larger impact? So what can you do right now and repeat over and over that would make the biggest difference for this project? Call upon Archangel Raphael for help. Dear Archangel Raphael, I ask for your healing help with the situation, the birthing project that you're using to think about all of this. Thank you for your divine healing intervention. Healing intervention. Healing is all about taking something from a state of dis-ease or disconnect or just, let's say, not fully actualized or realized. And healing is breathing life into it, and all the energy threads are patched and are growing and are vital and completely full of life, okay? So it's almost like when people do Reiki, putting life force energy into something, and then life force energy takes hold and it grows into the item it's supposed to be. So are you asking for help? Okay, not just listening, but are you actually saying, please help me, and then listening? That's a huge part of it. If we're asking help from spirit, if we're asking for guidance, if we're saying, I don't want to do it alone, I want to take my higher self, my future self, my spirit self, and listen to it and incorporate its perspective, is that going to get us where we need to go? Spirit says, yes, absolutely, 100%. Abundance, we're going to put that right into the prosperity card. Abundance is not just prosperity on a monetary level, but it's joy, it's happiness, it's fulfillment, it's completion, it's feeling vital, full of all this vital energy that just fulfills on such a deep level. So abundance is, again, promised. We promise that this project will fill and light up all of the areas of your life that you want to create that change about. I love that. The next card is surrender to spirit. Surrender. Spirit is your partner in all of this. Spirit is co-creating with you. Surrender to what spirit would see you create, because it has the play-by-play, the blueprint, the bird eye view. So also let up and release a little bit of what you think you need to do or what you think you need to create, and instead listen to the guidance and create what that says, and surrender to spirit. And finally, playfulness. I love this playfulness. There's so much joy in creation, and there's so much fun and playfulness in creation. So do me a favor, align with that playfulness, go into it like you're playing catch with spirit, and give spirit its role on your team, okay? And then go out and create the thing that you want to create. Breathe vital energy into it and allow it to create prosperity and abundance for you. Fantastic deck too. Thank you very much for your reading. And we are now moving on to deck number 3. I'm running out of space here, aren't I? Okay, I'll put that one over here. Whoops, preview of deck number 4. Okay, so deck number 3. This was under the black tourmaline with the quartz, and black tourmaline, as we know, is all about releasing and allowing negative energy to be dispelled, and to just allow ourselves the healing properties of letting go of what was toxic for us. So this is a healing for you as well. If this is your deck, we're going to be also probably focused on the things that you're going to be letting go of to make room for the other awesome things. Let's see what your reading's about. Okay. Yes, we were just talking about releasing. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the death card, don't be afraid of the death card. Don't be afraid of this at all, because you know what? If you were in a situation that you didn't like and it came to an end, that would be a blessing. It would be a blessing. So let's look at this as a way of a blessing. The guardian angels say death. Death is just the end of a cycle. It's the end of something that is supposed to be done and through and over with, okay? So if we're actually getting the death card now, it is a much needed release of something that's no longer serving us. So let's look into this reading. The first card is open up. Okay, so if you are receiving the death card first and then the open up card next, it's talking about you being in a circumstance, being in a relationship, being in a job, being in whatever this is for you, okay? Being in something that when I usually say in my readings is dead and dying, which means spirit has been trying to move you from this one thing into something else for some time. And it could be that it's really scary to change. It could be that it's really scary to do anything about. So we're kind of stuck in this scenario, and we kind of get into this place of inaction, okay? And when you're in this place of inaction, it gets harder and harder to cut the cords and let go and just free fall into something new. But here's the thing. When you are in a scenario that is kind of dead and dying, you start to close off so that that toxicity in that environment doesn't come in and just affect your whole body and your whole energy. So you kind of shut down. Have you ever been in a relationship that maybe you've been in for too long and towards the end you noticed you just shut down? Or are you in a job that is kind of a dead end, right? Or you're doing this thing for this other family member and whatever your scenario is, and you feel like it's not what you're called to do anymore, and you shut down. You shut down. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about here. So Spirit is talking about, how do we get you out of this scenario that you're no longer aligned with, and how do we get you to open your heart and your life and your creative centers and all your chakras and everything? How do we get you back into opening up? How do we get that for you? Okay, so that's what this is about. Surrender and release. Okay, sweethearts, deck number 3, let's just throw it out there again, is about releasing. Okay, right now, name 5 things that you need to release. Okay, number 1, good. Number 2, number 3, keep going. Number 4, and number 5. Okay, now at least focus on number 1, the first thing that came to you. Okay, we don't have to move mountains all in one day. We can do it one at a time, but focus on one of those things. It's been time for some time, and Spirit has been trying to tell you that there is something better on the other side. That's why they want you to open up, but you need to surrender and release first. Seek. If you haven't found the thing that makes it possible for you to even fathom making the change, it's time to go searching, spiritual searching, and out hunting for the thing that if you just create a little bit of change and you do this one little thing, adding repetition will create the critical mass for you to be able to have the strength to do what you need to do. Again, do you need to ask for help? Do you need to do something where you're taking responsibility for yourself and creating a routine that will allow you to feel stronger so that you can make the jump, make the change? Is it just saying no every once in a while? Is it telling one person that affects you so much how you're feeling and being honest so that maybe they can change what they're contributing? Seek out your guidance. Play catch with Spirit, seek out your guidance, figure out the little things you can do. You don't have control over everything. You probably can't do it all in one day or one night or 1 week. But if you actually say, these couple of things I might have control over, and put all your energy into those items, then you can make the change and make the leap a little easier than you could before. Romance. Okay, so a lot of you don't have to be, but if you are in romantic relationships that are stuck, and it doesn't even have to be romance. Romance is just a way of saying a very important relationship. Again, could be romance, maybe it's not, but people, guys, people in our lives can be dead and dying, and we could be really guided to let these things and people go. Okay, is there someone or something that you're holding on to? Is there an idea that you had about this thing and you're holding out to see if it ends up being this thing? Is this adding value to your life, or is it the thing that really needs to be released? Okay, take a look at this. This is talking about our relationships, people, okay, and what they bring to the table, and whether that's in alignment with what our needs and fulfillment is about, or is it less, therefore death and dying and toxic and those things that lead you to not feel spiritually in control of yourself, but feel less than or at a loss. Surrender to your full power, your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. So this is talking about power. Are you giving your power away to someone else, saying, I would be happy if they would. I would be happy if this would, right? Instead of saying, I create my own happiness and I'm responsible for my happiness, and the only one that can make or break my happiness is me. Are we giving this away to someone else? Okay, this comes right after the romance card, so it really is talking about that, okay? The next card is restriction, and your joy guides are saying, Gosh, are you including boundaries in your personal boundary system that are drawn by others or other things around you? Again, are you in your full power, or are you giving this away? Your boundaries are part of your personal power, okay? What you say yes to and what you say no to is part of your personal power. Are we leaning too much into what we think others would respond? Like, if we do this thing, maybe they'll do this and then we'll be happy, okay? Or take a real good look at this, you guys, because I'm not saying that you're in a bad way or that you're not centered or feeling spiritual just because you have this thing happening. It's just, this is what's going to get you closer and closer to actualizing your joy, your stability, your power, okay, is taking a look at this stuff. So let's keep going. Sensitivity, Archangel Haniel says you're extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Hey, no one said this wasn't hard, and no one's blaming you for the fact that this is a very difficult thing to do. Maybe you're in a twin flame relationship. Maybe you're in a soulmate relationship. Maybe this person is someone you've cared for a long time, and you feel like you've invested so much energy that you have to see it through. I get it. But this is talking about your power, your restriction, your boundaries, your sensitivity, all being on somebody else's turf. Therefore, something has a bigger influence over you than you have an influence on you. And the thing is, again, with the death and dying and the surrender and release, it's saying it's time. It's time. It's time to try and be ready to let this go. Surrender to your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action and beg to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. Has this person or thing become too powerful in that you can't let it go, or you have this overwhelming obsess or addiction to it? Has this person seeped into where only your spirit should be? Okay, where your fulfillment should be? Taking a look at these things, whatever this is that you have a relationship with, a person, a thing, a substance, this actually says that that's the case. An outside source is in complete control over your life and your happiness. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Next, ask your body for a message. Dear body, please help me hear your messages. Archangel Raphael, guide me in honoring and respecting my body's needs. I want you to do something for me. Take your hands, place them somewhere on your body, okay? Somewhere that you feel like is a powerful place, okay? And I want you to feel your power coming up from this part of your body. It's yours. That's your power. And if you were to listen to this power, what would that power tell you to do? Deck number 3, I want you to take a moment after watching this and do that for me. Put your hands on your power places and just listen for a message from your body, from that powerful part, not the part of you that feels a little overwhelmed or a little stressed. Listen to the powerful parts of your body. Hear a message from your body. It just might give you some of the strength you need. Divine order, Archangel Raguel, everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlining order. Okay, so are we trying to decide what the outcome should be for ourselves? Are we trying to decide that this is what it is going to take to make me happy, having this thing, having this person, having this tool, having this thing, okay? Are we deciding too much that has to be the truth? Or are we listening to and paying attention to the doors that are opening, the doors that are not open, the things that we're getting, the things that we're not getting? And are we paying attention to Spirit saying, this is in divine order? If you listen to our guidance, if you go where your Spirit is telling you to go and release the things Spirit is telling you to release, please trust that this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is the divine order that things are supposed to occur in. Having that trust that we don't always have the answer, that the answer is just outside of us in spirit, and that we can hear that, okay? Because sometimes we get a little lost in our own thoughts and our own addictions and our own codependency, okay? Next card is do more research. I love when Spirit tells us to do research. Yay. Okay. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, thank you for clearly and gently leading me to the information that I need to know for my well-being. Please give me the courage to be assertive as I take charge of my healthy care needs. Okay, listen. I always have, every time I create an Oracle deck, I always have a card in there which is about research. Because here's the thing. If you think no one in this world has ever not gone through what you're going through, you'd be so wrong. We're so much human that so many people have actually been through the journey that you're going through. So are there books? Are there audiobooks? Are there podcasts? Are there readings on YouTube? Are there other people that have already felt this, learned from it, found some tools, shared those tools? Yes, the answer is yes. So whatever it is, this is my Google it card, okay? This is one of my Google it cards. If you're having trouble in a relationship, maybe it's codependent, if you're having trouble in a twin flame relationship, if you're having trouble with an addiction, if you're having trouble letting go of something that's no longer serving you, Google it. Google it, okay? Seriously, Google it and see if there are resources, tools, articles and practices and meditations that can help you with this thing. Okay, I want you to do this for me because the tools are not as far away as you think, and it could be just one of those tools that make all the difference between the power that you have and the power that you're giving away. Okay, that was deck number 3. Thank you so much for your reading. Love that one. I love ending on research. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to put that back, and now we're going to focus on deck number 4. Here we go. If you had deck number 4 under the Amethyst, this is your reading. First card, meditation. We saw this card from a different deck earlier on. This one has a message. Dear Archangel Raphael, please meditate with me and guide my mind and body to focus on peace, health, and wellness. Deck number 4, I feel that we have a lot of healers, okay, and a lot of peacemakers and light workers, maybe even psychic people, okay, that are part of deck number 4. I feel that this is talking about your spiritual mission, but it's not just your mission, it's your God-given innate power, your God-given innate ability to heal this world and to heal those around you. I do feel like you're in good spirits and in good energy. Even if you feel like you're kind of down, you're always kind of ahead of the game anyways, because deck number 4, I feel that if you've been drawn to this deck, you have a lot going for you spiritually and with your enlightenment and with your alignment. I feel you're coming into whatever it is that this reading is going to be about from a very centered place naturally. Even if you're not feeling the most centered you've ever felt, you're always kind of ahead of the game. Okay, I love that because it's what we need to be a way shower in this world. Let's see what your message is. You know what to do. That's right. Okay, deck number 4, these are my psychic people, these are my spiritual way showers, these are my light workers. Okay, I'm talking to you. We're talking about doing something that you know you need to do. It says, Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. I think they are going to talk to us here. Spirit is saying about something in particular. It's going to start to hone in, but it's starting wide, okay? It's starting broad. And the first thing I'll have to say about this is you always know what to do. You always know what to do. You always know right from wrong, and you always know what to do. You're so connected with Spirit all the time that you never not know how to proceed, what to do, how to do the thing, okay? So let's keep looking at this, but just acknowledge for a minute how powerful you are, okay? Acknowledge that for a minute, and don't forget it. Don't forget it as you move forward. Leadership, Holy Spirit. Okay. Now we're getting into focus here. Is there something that you've been guided to start, create, to lead? Is there someone that you've been guided to help or lend a helping hand to? Are you a spiritual teacher thinking about expanding your reach? Okay, this is all about what this is. Leadership means you have the qualities that it takes to be a way shower. You have the thing in your mind right now, almost fully realized, that is the message, that is the thing Spirit wants you to focus on, create, and share. Yes, I love this. The next one is surrender comparisons with other people. I love this. I love it, love it, love it. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. Don't look around you and say, am I as good at that? Am I as powerful as that? Am I as insightful as that? Can I do that thing that person's doing? Can I do that the way they do it? Don't worry about that, okay? You are you, and that is your power. You are you, and that is your power. You do the things that you do, and that is your power, okay? Just by being you, living and breathing, you have what it takes to make a contribution and an impact on the people that Spirit would send to you. Stop comparing yourself to others, sweetheart. Stop trying to do the things exactly like other people are doing it, okay? That's not going to get you where you need to go, because the world needs you. They need you. They don't need another one of someone else. They need one of you, okay? Spread your wings. Hey, hey, it's time to get it. It's time to go. Spread your wings. I love this. Getting into action, diving in, spreading your wings, jumping off the cliff, feeling the fear and do it anyway, getting started already, okay? What's the thing you need to push and start? It's not that the push would be against your energy or against your guidance or against the energy flow. It's just that you're getting out of the way of the energy flow. You're getting out of the way, okay? So spread your wings, jump off that cliff, have faith in yourself, okay? Next one is truth. Higher self. Again, you are not alone. You have your higher self, and your higher self is in direct communication with you, very aligned with you, almost embodied as you. And that higher self has truth. It is sharing wisdom and truth with you. The truth that comes from your unique perspective, your unique gift, your God-given power. You have truth inside of you. So don't be afraid if it's somebody else is saying one thing and you're saying another thing. Your truth is your truth, and it is true, okay? Love that. Feeling the power of deck 4. Feeling your power. I love it. Next one is answered prayers. Okay. This card is coming up saying that you have been thinking for some time about how you're going to heal this world and how you're going to do the thing and how you're going to share what you have. Okay. I want you to look at me. Okay. This is an answered prayer for others. You are literally delaying Spirit actualized in others' lives by bogarting your gift and your message and your truth, okay? So do me a favor. Realize that your truth and what it is that you know and what it is you can share is an answered prayer for you and others. So it's not selfish that you want to be in the limelight. It's not selfish that you want the microphone for a moment. It's not selfish that you want to create and say, look over here, I have something to say, okay? It's not selfish. You are an answered prayer. You are a God-given answered prayer to others. It's time to start respecting your power as if that's the case. Flow. I love this. We talked about flow. It's not about pushing for something that is not already there. It's about getting out of the way of the flow and letting the flow sweep over the area of your life in which you'd like to create or share. Getting out of the way, removing the blocks, okay? And stopping the inaction and getting into action, getting into flow. Next card is surrender defensiveness. This is one of my biggest triggers, defensiveness. I will tell you, all of my defects of character, when they come up, I always get defensive. So let's look at this from a spiritual perspective. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Okay, so I think this has to do a lot with surrendering comparison with other people. Okay, so when we look at ourselves and we put someone else in front of us, and then we have this reaction where we're like, oh, I can't do what they do, or oh, I'm not as powerful as that, or oh, they're so great at it, when I do it, I'm gonna suck at it, okay? This whole thing triggers this defensiveness inside of us where we have this dualistic approach of I'm not good enough and I want to be good enough, I wish I was good enough, and there's all this push and pull. That is the block that this flow card is talking about removing so that the light can be shared, okay? So the comparison, the defensiveness to not being the thing that you're comparing yourself to, it all has to go. Whoop, throw it out the window. It all has to go. It has to go. It's time to be you alone. Say the things that are in your heart, say your truth, not pay attention to anything else, okay? Let it inspire, but not create a defensiveness within you, okay? Light worker, way shower, healer, energy master, psychic reader, intuitive person, listen to me. Hear these words. You are not anyone else, and that is your power. That is your power. Next, forgiveness. Right next to the defensiveness, right under the comparison. Maybe to let this defensiveness go, we need to forgive ourselves, okay? Listen to that monkey mind of ourselves that wanted to be the thing that the other person was, and forgive ourselves for not being the thing that the other person was, okay? Maybe we need to allow ourselves the opportunity to heal it so that we can let it go. Very important. Next, unconditional joy. That's the vibration we want to stay into. Let's look at this. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me appreciate everything that makes me happy right now. Your truth, your joy is what makes you happy. I want you to think about in your heart what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what heals you, what is your truth. That is your message. Share your joy, share your wins, share your love for this world and what you would have for it, okay? That's the way shower and healer's way. The next one, you are safe. You are safe as you open up, share, and create, okay? You are safe as you heal this world. You are safe as you move into even some places that might seem low energy in order to help and heal. You are safe, light worker, because you have spirit and your entire mission all supporting you. Archangel Michael, I'm protecting you against lower energies and guarding you and your loved ones and your home. You will never have something in your mission that brings you to a place that you cannot heal with your own personal power. Deck number 4, I think, reminds me of that quote from Eat, Pray, Love. He says, groceries, I think one day you have the capacity to love the whole world, okay? This is my message for you. You have the capacity to love the whole world. When you do that, when you are in your power and in your truth, nothing can touch you to the point of destruction. You will have spirit by your side and the power of truth with you, and you will find your way, okay? And you will help others find their way as a light shower and as a way shower and as a light bringer, okay? You are the healers, lovers, and intuitive spiritual people on this planet, and the world needs you now. I want to thank you, deck number 4, and I want to thank you, everybody else, for tuning in to this pick a card reading. I will be doing this from time to time, so be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to what your deck was and how the reading sat with you, and be sure to check out future videos here on this channel. Again, I'm Tana Newberry from tananewberry.com, providing psychic readings and psychic development for you. Check out my website for optional reading opportunities if you'd like a session with me, and also online courses for psychic development. I'd love to see you and have you in the classroom. Until then, goodbye, soul family. Have a wonderful week.